We are reading Chapter 2, Part 4. The Meaning of Lethargy.
Allah, God, the Exalted, again mentions the resurrection. He says, in chapter 50, verse 15,
أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد.
Which means, were we then tired with the first creation? And He, the Almighty, says,
أولم يروا أن الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض ولم يعي بخلقهن بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى بلى إنه على كل شيء قدير.
Do they not see that Allah, God, who created the heavens and earth and did not fail in their creation, is able to give life to the dead? Yes, indeed, He is over all things competent. And He, the Almighty, says,
وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي 6 أَيَّامٍ وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ.
Which means, and we did certainly create the heavens and earth, and what is between them, in 6 days, and there touched us no weariness. Meaning, and in no way has any fatigue touched us. And He, the Almighty, says,
هم في لبس من خلق جديد.
Which means, they are in confused doubt about a new creation, resurrection. Chapter Kaf, verse 15. Their point of confusion is that Allah God the Almighty will recreate mankind as a new creation on the day of resurrection. God drew the attention of such people to His greatest proofs of power, to the evidence of His divinity, and proof of the resurrection, as it is among the greatest proofs of monotheism. There is no greater evidence than the formation of this human being, with its organs, abilities, and properties, and the flesh, bones, veins, nerves, ligaments, openings, systems, desires, and insight that it contains. All that is simply a drop in the ocean. The idea of the creation of man is enough to make any person ponder, and if he does, he will remember what the messengers told us about Allah, God, His names, and attributes. Allah, God, the Exalted, then told mankind that His knowledge encompasses humanity, and that He the Exalted knows what each individual whispers to himself. He informed us that He is close to man through His knowledge and is close to man like a vein that is inside his body. Moreover, He is even closer to him than this vein. He has more power over him and more knowledge of him.
وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ.
And we have already created man, and know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein.
The meaning of the pronoun, we, as mentioned in the Quran. It's a feature of literary style in Arabic that a person may refer to himself by the pronoun, we, for respect or glorification. Allah, God, may He be glorified and exalted, sometimes refers to Himself in the singular, by name or by use of a pronoun, and sometimes, by use of the plural. As in the phrase, interpretation of the meaning, verily, we have given you a manifest victory. Chapter 48, verse 1. These words, verily we, and we, and other forms of the plural, may be used by one person speaking on behalf of a group, or they may be used by one person for purposes of respect or glorification, as is done by some monarchs when they issue statements or decrees in which they say, "We have decided," etc. This is known in English as the royal we. In such cases, only one person is speaking, but the plural is used for respect. The one who is more deserving of respect than any other is Allah, God, may He be glorified and exalted. So when He says in the Quran, "Verily we, and we," it is for respect and glorification, not to indicate plurality of numbers.
Writing the deeds of man, and the two resurrections. Then, Allah, God the Exalted, informed us about the two angels that are on the right and left of each human being, and they write his words and deeds. He paid attention to the process of reckoning and writing words more than he did with writing deeds, which are less frequent but greater impact than words, because actions are the aims of words and their ultimate ends. Then, he mentioned the minor resurrection, which is the stupor of death, and that it came with the truth, which is meeting with him, glorified and exalted be he. And the soul will be brought to judgment, and will have its reward or punishment, which will be advanced to it before the major day of resurrection. Then he mentioned the major resurrection as He the Almighty says in the coming verse.
وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ.
And the trumpet will be blown, that will be the day whereof warning had been given, meaning, the day of resurrection. After that, Allah, God, glorified be He, told us about the states of all creatures on this day, and that each of them will come to Allah, God, all glory be to Him, accompanied by an angel that will drive him, and an angel that will witness. This is besides the witnessing of his limbs, body parts, and the earth he walked on, which will testify concerning what he has done, and the rights he has taken from others. This includes the rights of God exalted be He, the rights of the messengers, peace be upon them, and the rights of the believers. Allah, God, glorified be He, will take the testimony of the guardians, the prophets, the places on which good or bad deeds were committed, and the skin and body parts that were used in committing sins. And He the Exalted, will not judge them only according to His knowledge, even though He is the most just of the judges, and most wise, of all the wise ones. That is why He told His Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that he judges between people according to what he heard from their confession, as well as evident testimony, and not according to his knowledge alone. How can any ruler judge according to his knowledge alone without neither sign nor confession? Then He, Allah glorified be He, mentioned the heedless state of mankind concerning this matter, while they should not be apathetic at all. Instead, they should keep it in mind every so often. God, the Almighty, says in the Quran,
لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد.
Meaning, you were certainly heedless of this, unmindfulness.
In another word, it means, now we have removed from you your covering, and sharp is your sight this day. Your sight is now clear and strong. Everyone, including the disbelievers, will have clear sight on the day of resurrection. However, having sight will not be helpful to the disbelievers on that day.